Late Tea Time podders around the world, welcome along to a special edition of the Late Tea Time podcast. I'm James, as always, alongside me, Dave Tindall, the golfing guru. And we're going to have a bit of a look ahead at the majors coming up in 2025. A little bit of a long-range betting forecast. And we'll start off with the Masters DT. I'll run through the prices as they appear on Oddschecker right now. Scotty Scheffler, 11-2. Surprise, surprise. Scotty is the favourite. Rory McIlroy, 12-1, as is Jon Rahm. Then at 16s, you've got Ludwig Åberg and Xander Schauffele. 25-1, Victor Hovland, my mate, alongside Colin Morikawa, my other mate, both at 25s. Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau and Hideki Matsuyama and Cam Smith are all 28-1. And then you've got a gaggle of players, Patrick Cantlay, Jordan Spieth and Tommy Fleetwood at 33s. The rest are bigger. The Masters, as we always say, DT, is our favourite of the majors. This is a chance to look ahead quite some months here. Is it a chance to oppose Scotty Scheffler? At the moment, he's hard to oppose, but by then he might have become normal.
Yeah, it's always a lot harder to defend a Masters than to go and win one. You look at players, Mickelson never defended, but he won 3. Arnold Palmer went win, didn't win, win, didn't win, win, didn't win. Bubba Watson won, got all a bit kind of het up about trying to sort out the Masters dinner. Didn't play well the year after. Then
it's a major responsibility.
Well, yeah, it's just a distraction, so it's very hard to defend it. Scheffler didn't make a great job of defending. Never looked like he was going to win it when he won it first time. So, yeah, I think there's grounds to look beyond Scotty Scheffler, even though it seems difficult right now as we sit here.
The next on the list is Rory, and we know that Rory hasn't won a major for a long time. And
it'll be 11 years by that.
He's got very close, and he's always talked about there's the pressure on him as he walks up to that first tee, and the few days in advance, everybody's talking to him about can he win another major. He obviously can, he's good enough, but it seems to be quite mental at the moment rather than necessarily his game. It's all about getting over that final hurdle, isn't it?
I suppose what you can say, 12-1 now being August 2024, might not be there by the Masters in April 2025. I think if Rory wins in Dubai like he normally does, say he wins a tournament pre-Masters, single-figure price, is very likely there'll be a load of money for him. So 12-1 right now might be as good as it gets.
Of the other people that we've talked about, I mean, Xander Schauffele has been in tremendous form. He is Mr. Consistent, isn't he? I mean, Scotty Scheffler's Mr. Consistent in terms of winning, but Xander Schauffele, in terms of majors, top 6, top 5, whatever finishes, he's just always there.
Yeah, I mean, to win 2 in 2024, that's some going. And when you look historically at players who win majors, they do win them in bunches. So maybe I don't think that's the worst price. I'd rather back him at 16s than some of the players. Maybe say even Rory, for example. So I think Xander Schauffele at 16s. Right now, he's close to. He's the second best golfer on the planet right now.
And he's not far behind.
He's not far behind.
He's not far behind.
So each way bet there, 16-1.
Anybody else on that list? I mean, there's obviously a whole host there of very, very top players in the market, as you'd expect. Any of them potentially could win because they're all good golfers, but. The likes of a Ludwig Åberg, the likes of a Victor Hovland, the players that have never won a major, is 2025 going to be some of their years? Can Ludwig get across the line? He's obviously very new to it, but he's good enough. Victor, he obviously needs to tinker with his game a little bit, but we know he's good enough. Is there going to be a breakout star?
Yeah, the price right now on Ludwig Åberg, we'll never get that right. I know he was runner-up on debut, but it's kind of, that's very much built into the price. The ones I think are interesting are the trio at 28-1.
I mean, what you just said there, 16-1 on somebody that's never won a major is a little bit skinny, isn't it? Yeah.
And as we sit here in August 2024, he's just gone off the boil a little bit. Yeah, there's a trio of players at 28-1 I think are interesting. Brooks Koepka, who keeps winning on the Live Tour. I think he's an each-way price for the Masters. He's been runner-up there before.
He comes with heat in his belly or fire in his belly, doesn't he? Because of anybody that I've seen, he seems to be the one that's got. I mean, Jon Rahm is there as well, Bryson too, but they're the 3 off the Live Tour that have come wanting to prove a point, aren't they?
Yeah, very much so. And Brooks Koepka, king of the majors, isn't he? He's won, was it 5? So but he hasn't got the Masters yet.
No.
For as many as he wants to collect, he wants to probably try and push towards double figures if he can. Massive task to do so, but he's got that green jacket to hunt for, so he will be trying his heart out.
He's not got either of the big two, really, is he?
No, yeah, he's all got US Open and US PGA. So him at 28 to 1 is interesting. Bryson at 28 to 1 is interesting. He's always thought that course could come under his spell because it favours a big hitter. The other one that's really interesting at 28 to 1 is Hideki Matsuyama. We're talking now after he's just won.
And he's been bubbling under for a while, hasn't he? And we're waiting for him to win, and he has done now.
Yeah, he's just won the FedEx St. Jude, followed on from a win at Riviera earlier this season. And, of course, he won the Masters before. So you do get repeat Masters winners. I think at 28 to 1, if he starts 2025 pretty well, again, that would be an interesting price. But, yeah, I think he's a big danger next year if he can show the form that he's capable of.
Probably, one of the most famous Masters moments, wasn't it, when his caddy bowed to the course? Yeah. It was a lovely moment, that. As we scroll further down the list then, we've kind of gone through our favoured tips from the top end. Is there anybody that you maybe got a little bit of a fancy on further down? A Sahith Theegala maybe 80 to 1. You've got some players there that are very, very good, and he could be a breakthrough star. He's good enough, isn't he? Sahith Theegala. Tyrrell Hatton maybe at 55s. Will Zalatoris, if he can kind of regain his form in the majors again, 40 to 1. There's some names there that in the months in between could get themselves into position to win. Yeah,
Theegala's a good one. He really came on leaps and bounds in 2024, and he's shown he can play well in the majors. Augusta should suit him, so he's definitely a good price at 80 to 1. Davis Thompson, who's a bit of a breakout star in 2024. I know he'll be going there kind of new to it all, but could be interesting at 80s. Robert McIntyre.
Yes.
Now, you often see, you talked about Brooks Koepka earlier, he's won the US PGA and the US Open. They kind of go in twin pairs, the majors. So, like Nick Faldo, he only won Masters or Opens. Sort of the creativity, maybe. So, look at Robert McIntyre. He's played well in Opens. He could do really well at the Masters. He's got the creativity.
2024, I'm talking about breakout years. It's not been quite breakout, but he's got his first win on the PGA Tour. He's got close in majors. He's been kind of featuring on the top end of the leaderboard. It feels like it's a matter of time before he actually claims a really big one.
I think he could. I mean, he's won the Canadian Open, he's won the Scottish Open as well, which counts. So he's got two PGA Tour wins. Yeah, I think he's just got the mentality to do it, Robert McIntyre. So again, it's whether you think 80 to 1 now will still be there.
That Ryder Cup week did him the world of good, didn't it?
Yeah, just feeling part of like the top echelon of players.
And going toe-to-toe with them and not being phased. Yeah, that was a major feather in Robert McIntyre's cap. So, I'm expecting big things from him in 2025.
If you're talking about another kind of younger player who has got potential to really sort of kick on, Akshay Bhatia.
Yes.
Bhatia. 125 to 1.
And he's featured a lot, hasn't he, in the top end of leaderboards recently?
And he's left-handed. Which Augusta National, think of Phil Mickelson, Mike Weir, Bubba Watson. Very, very good for left-handed players. So that he could be an interesting each-way outsider.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Let us know at Late Tea Time Pod on the Twitter feed, or get in touch with us through the lateteatime.com website. Tell us what your fancies are for the majors next year. Have you found somebody that you think he's bound to win something? He's on the up. He's going to come through and lift one of the coveted titles in 2025. It's always good to hear from you, Late Tea Time Podders. If I'm going to give you one name, then who are you going to pick? We've talked around it. We've gone through loads, and they're all decent shouts. But if you were to narrow it down to one now, gun to your head, who wins the Masters in 2025?
If I was given like a free bet of £1,000, it's a very generous free bet. I would stick it each way on Xander Schauffele at 16 to 1.
Xander each way in the majors. It's not a bad shout.
Forever you and me. Right by my side's where you ought to be. 'Cause if I ever were to lose you, I just don't know what I'd do. me hear you now.